Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, May 7th, 2018. It is a beautiful, beautiful morning outside. Uh, it's hard to believe that 2.5 weeks ago there was 18 inches of snow, and now it is a gorgeous 78 to 80 degree day we're going to have today. Lawns are green, doing projects outdoors all weekend with my wife, which was cutting crown molding for our kitchen. I hate crown molding. I hate it because it's so damn annoying. And if you've ever done crown before, about the time you're done doing whatever room is about the time you're getting the hang of it, and then you don't want to do it again. And so this is my third time doing crown molding, and it's not my thing. Anyways, we're gonna have a pretty interesting week coming up here. We should have some good moves, and looking maybe at we didn't get a whole lot of those counter trend moves that we were looking at last week. It's possible they're not going to continue. And I was looking at the hourly for a lot of trades. In the MAM account, I put in a few trades over the evening, and then actually just closed them for profit this morning. Where were they at? Yeah, there was a euro short, gold short, Aussie dollar long, dollar yen long, and actually I can probably just show that the prop trades this morning that it took, well, actually overnight, that ended up in profit, so those worked out. One thing I've noticed with looking at the hourly on a lot of these charts, looking at gold right here, is that we're getting a pretty good formation of a bear flag, and I'm going to tell you how those kind of things match up with our market geometry, and then probably tomorrow we're going to go over how to set up my charts, my special unique way, and that'll be kind of like a special little included bonus attachment to your guy to you guys watching, is that subscribers will be able to watch this and apply this market geometry, which I am very happy to say is followed very closely and very accurately. I am very pleased with the way that I've set this up, and it is not a market standard. I believe I might have developed a particular way to do this that no one else does. I'm not saying that these tools are new, they're not. I'm just saying that my application and the way I do it seems to be a very new approach and a very effective approach. I'm actually considering, well, I'll go through it once I actually do it. I'll let you know. Okay, let's look at the gold here, the gold trade. Let's pull up our WhatsApp so we can get our trades going. So looking at this trade is gold here. We have a pretty interesting bear flag setting up here, and in addition to that, we're coming right up against this angle. Now, the bear flag is something we want to pay attention to, because bear flags, they indicate some people who get into tunnel vision, they don't notice they're in one, and they think it's turning out to be a reversal. Now, bear flags can turn into reversals to be bullish, but if we know we've been in kind of a prolonged down move, then we should continue to see selling in a bear flag. And so the higher it gets, the more profitable the short entry gets. And so we've got a couple opportunities. Really, if we look at this, we've got a trend line that's moving up like this, all right? And any good break below that is going to signal another leg down. Okay? So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a break. So I am looking for a break or a return to 1309 as a short. On the gold trade, okay? I think that's a fairly good one to get into, a fairly safe one to get into. All right. On the euro, finding a little support here. This is what I'm talking about with this market geometry, is how efficient and effective it is at spotting where prices may trade. This bounce down here was very noticeable. It was very expected. And because we've been in such kind of a big drawdown here, it might be a good idea to short if we get a pullback up back to this arc, but on this 2x1 here, if we get a return to there. Otherwise, we'll just keep going lower. So we're looking for pullback trades on the euro dollar pair, or capitulation lower. If we look at this on the that's the 3 days. We don't want 3 days. We want the daily. On the daily chart, we are seeing some pretty big moves. I want to point out something here, okay? So we were trading back on the 19th of last month at a high there. We'll just say it's at 124. And now we are down in the 119 to 119. Okay, so we've dropped 500 pips over a, what is that, trading day period, the 19th. We got 1 2 yeah, coming up to 2.5 3 weeks, we'll say that we've gone down. So 2.5 weeks of down move of 500 pips down. And it's interesting to look at how much price action that has wiped out over time. So we've only gone down, or not only, we've moved down 500 pips over 2.5 weeks. All right. That means we've wiped out all of the gains ever since, let's look over here, December of 2017. All right. Now, remember what Gann said about dates, is that the high, wherever price is trading in January, from January 1st to January 7th. You know what? I want to make sure I've got that right. I don't have my tablet down here. But I believe it's January 1st, January 3rd through January 7th. Wherever price is at, that is to be considered the low of the high for the year. And wherever price is trading, we consider that to be bullish or bearish. So if we look where we're at in January, here's January 9th, 8th, 7th. So the low of this area is where we're at. Okay, so we're at the low of the year. And so technically we are, you know what, I'm just going to say technically we're flat on the year. But if we were to start trading below this low, then we are bearish. All right? We are trading below the high, and we look to be testing to see if we're going to trade below the low. All right? So that's something to be aware of, something to look out for. Also, though, I want us to take a look over here, right in the center here. On the 25th, we are getting into a square of time and price. Actually, it's the mid of a square of time and price. So we want to be careful of what happens as we go on here, like in the next week. It'll be interesting to see what we do at these levels. Okay. Dollar yen. As far as the trade here, you know, I do anticipate us moving lower, so we could short at a couple of areas. We could short on a pullback to probably 119.65. I'm not saying we're going to get there today. Or we're also looking at a short on a return below the low at 118.95. Actually, no, we don't want to do that. Never mind. We really want to short on a pullback. I really don't want to entertain short here. There's too much supportive structure right there. Here's the 45. Here's this arc. Too much structural support there. Don't want to entertain that. So only want to short on a pullback. All right, dollar yen. Dollar yen's been a pretty good trade. I mean, we caught some nice pips this overnight. For whatever reason, a lot of my square drawings have been resetting, so it's nice to see that it didn't. That's good. We look like we're forming the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth. So the second corrective wave here, maybe. You're gonna see how we hold. Holding above this angle has been kind of difficult for the dollar yen. Now we need to be careful of a short here because it appears we want to retest 109.58, and if we move to test that and we hold that, then we are looking at significantly higher prices. All right. Now, that's not saying that we're going to get there. In fact, sorry, just taking a drink of water there. In fact, we may even entertain lower prices if we don't get beyond this zone here. If we can't go back up to 109.80, then we're probably going to want to test back down to the 45. And certainly if we can't hold above this angle, then we're going to probably move down to 108.96 to test that. And so really looking at this is probably a good short zone, temporary short zone. We're going to have a tight stop though, probably at 109.34. But we want to get below this arc and stay below this angle. So give me my and not a very not a whole lot of risk here. Looking at all the way down to 108.96, I think that's a fair value area. And then certainly maybe peeling off some profit, because if we can break below this to come back down to 45, then we find some more support here and we can start another leg up. But for right now, we're looking a little weak, which is okay. We want to see some consolidation and distribution followed by more accumulation. That's kind of what we want to see. The pound dollar. Lots of basing action going on here. Let's look at this on the daily. This has been a very, very nice, awesome, wonderful move that we've experienced. Yes, last week was looking at somewhat of a structural bounce here somewhere, but that did not play out. However, we are experiencing a lot of bullish divergence here, regular bullish divergence in our oscillators and in price. So we need to be aware of that. We also be on the lookout for lower prices. So ultimately, this is the zone we want to test, is this 133. And relating this back to the euro, we've had over a year and a half of a straight up bull move in the pound dollar. And so we got up all the way to 143, 74, and we've gone all the way down to the 135 zone. All right. That's a lot of move. 800 pips of movement, roughly. And so even on a big drawdown like this, we should expect a pullback. And I like how this structure is setting up. Okay, we should really look for a pullback back up to 137. I think that is a safe and fair value area to retest. So even going long around here wouldn't be such a bad idea. Not a bad zone to be considering going long. And again, our long bias is going to be limited. We're going to be really looking for a retest. This is going to be a strong resistance area, okay? This is retest of this arc. It's a retest of, you know what? I have to draw. Ooh. You know what? I'm going to come back to this. So long here is very fine. I bet we're on a pivot here. I bet we're on that pivot. Yep. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Little sloppy zone here. Really not entertaining this. We're in a very touchy zone because this is a pivot in time and price. Now, however, we wow, we stay above. We stay above this arc. That's pretty bullish. We stay above this arc and break higher here. That's pretty bullish. We've been in a tight range ever since the 24th. If you look at this, this has been going on for quite some time. What are we looking at? The 24th, one coming up on 2 weeks of this range trade. And again, when you have a big move, when you have a big bear move or a big bull move, and you see consolidation, oftentimes that is just a rest before a next leg higher, especially if it is just a flat kind of a area. If it's not flagging or in a pennant, especially if we're in a flat zone like this, that is an indication of impending higher prices. Okay, we'll want to check that out though. And oil is getting higher and higher. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Had some fallout through on this flag. That's what we were looking for. We'd like to continue. This is just like what we were looking at with gold. Of course, gold's chart and the Aussie dollar's chart do look very similar. We're looking at this flag and really not wanting to try to test lower here yet. Again, look at this. Lots of structural support. If you remember on the monthly, we're looking at a very strong indication of significantly lower moves in the long term, but we just need to break lower. We need to hold below the 75 value area. And so ultimately, our shorting, we're going to, if we want to see a pullback of some sort, obviously, but we already got that, it appears, and so we may be just showing that we're going to keep falling. And if that's the truth here, then it has to be true with gold also to some degree. So a break down below of 74.88 is a good short area. Okay. Otherwise, we are looking at a pretty nice bounce zone. Lots to see. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, finding a lot of support in this arc. I like this setup actually. It's pretty nice. I think we can look at a long entry right at this value area with a stop below this. And certainly the short re-entry is pretty easy because I go here on the daily. Maybe don't want to go long here. No, I think, yeah, I think that's all right. Yeah, I think long's pretty good if we can test back up at 70.32. That is certainly a good option. Figure out where that's placing that. Okay, good. Sorry about that. Okay, moving on. Actually, no, it's fine. Okay, I want to go back over to the pound real quick. I want to kind of give you a heads up of what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So I'm going to go over what I want to form here. I'm only going to put one line here. I've got to find my calculator. Excuse me. Okay, now I need to find the mid of these values, so that's 1.375 as the high and the low of 1.25. And so my inner, actually I'll put in 3. We'll go light blue there, red, and red. And so the first pivot there is 1.34. The 2.8 line is 1.28. And you know what? I do not think that is the right calculator. I know it's not. Sorry about that. Gonna find it here. No, that's not it either. What the heck did I do with that one? Nope. Bear with me. Boo. Let's see, go to type. Where the heck are you? Nope. I have that one. Well, shoot. I thought I had it here. maybe not. Well, that's okay. I don't like these levels being so approximate. They're not supposed to be, but that'll do. I'll fix it by tomorrow. Okay, now I just need to plot 2 arcs, really. Well, just 1 arc, but it looks better with 2. So now I need to put this... I'm going to draw this from the exact center of that, the intersection of these 2 lines, and then I'm going to bring this to the end of that cycle. Now I'm just going to plot these and make sure they're right. So, you know what? I gotta change this. It's supposed to be 132 because that's the mid. Is it 125? Whoa, this changed. 1.375. Okay, now we're good. 1.31. And then we're at 1.3875. Sorry, 375. And one more. Same thing. Just on the other side. 1.31 and then 1.375. Okay, now we've got that. Let's check out the 4-hour chart. So we are not yet at the pivot, but we have found structural support. Now look at that, bounced right off that arc. That's pretty crazy. Right there. Oh, cool. So that's where we're sitting, forming a little bit of support here. It looks like we'll have to watch and observe how this plays out, though. Certainly lots of reasons why things may be going lower. I mean, we should really, like, long term be looking at this coming down to the 133 trend line to test that. But finding support and more entries is going to be difficult the lower we get, because we're going to observe some bouncing going on. I've also got to do this in the Aussie dollar, but I'll probably save that for tomorrow. Bitcoin was really close to 10,000, kind of hovering above it all day Friday and testing it on Saturday as well. Wow, what the heck happened to this chart? Well, that's messed up. Weird. Huh. Oh well. Having difficulty getting to that 10,000 value area and really not seeing a whole lot of issue to be fully bearish. Just looks like we're continuing to trend up here. A little bit of pullback. You know, Sundays and Mondays are generally pullback days anyways, so nothing to really be concerned about. We should expect to see Bitcoin rise and probably hit 10K over the next 2 weeks, but certainly in a tighter range as we're moving. The next leg up, we should expect to see, you know, activity like these bullish sticks here as we go higher. But yeah. Other than that, be on the lookout for a lot of these trades. we have a short on gold. Let's review these real quick. We have a short on gold. If we return to 1309, we are looking for a short on the euro dollar pair at a pullback to the at a pullback to the 119.65 zone. The dollar yen, we are looking at a short at 109.24. because you're just a couple pips above that now. And Aussie dollar short at 74.88. If we can break back down there. And then long, testing out a long on the New Zealand dollar at 7.78. Okay. All right. Those are our trades for the day. Trades for starting out the week. Let's see what happens. Obviously, pay attention to your levels. Pay attention to your oscillators. And I will visit with you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.